Alright, for this rendering lesson, I have changed the art up a little bit here, and I apologize, I've got a bit of a cold today on the recording, so my voice sounds a little different, that would be why. And what I've done here for the sake of this lesson is I took my original rendering, just put a copy of that up here at the top, and then turned off all of the rendering on the version below. And so on this new layer, which I have labeled new, is where I'm actually going to start my rendering on the bottom down here. You'll be able to follow along. So next up for the rendering stage, I want to make sure that my flats are set as my reference layer, because we're going to be making a lot of selections and I don't want to keep jumping around layer to layer. And so what we can do is set that flats as a reference layer. I think I talked about this earlier, and we'll be able to select from that layer with our selection tools. Another thing I've set up for this lesson is a camera so that you can see my hands. I'm going to keep my left hand sort of resting near the top so that I can quickly get to the left side of the screen here, over to choose my size on the brush, to choose the opacity if I want to. But really what this is best for is getting to these selections up top. We can get the selections, the move tool, the adjustments, all of this stuff. We're going to be using a lot of selections. And so if you're constantly going from coloring on the canvas to clicking up here and then doing stuff and then going here, it saves a little bit of time to get one arm sort of chilling out up here handling that part of the business. So I'm going to zoom up a bit here, and I'm going to start by clicking on the selection tool up here at the top left and make sure it's set to automatic, make sure it's set to add. The feather should be none. This is crucial. Make sure that's set to none. If you set this to anything other than 0, when it makes a selection, it's going to add a little fuzzy edge to it, which you do not want. And what else? I think that's really all we need here. So automatic, add, selection tool. And we'll start with her hair here. And so I'm just going to click with the pin there on her hair, and you can see that it has grabbed her entire hair there as a selection, and I don't see any stray hairs or anything that we missed. So I'm going to directly switch to my brush. Now the brush that I'm used on this book, I'm going to include in the course, and you'll be able to just drag and drop it here. It's this flat marker. I really like the way it behaves. It kind of has a little bit of texture to it, but not too much. And but of course you can use whatever kind of brush you want for this, or you can use a lasso and a fill tool or whatever. We'll get to all of that. But I'm going to start with her hair. I'm going to start with a brush to begin with here. And I'm going to hold the left button here and do my color pick, which is how I've got mine set up. You might have your color picking set up a little bit differently. Most people you can probably just hold, I think, with a finger, I think is the default behavior. I can't remember though. But now that I've got my color, I can decide, am I doing shadows? Am I doing highlights? What am I doing here? So in this case, I'm doing shadows. I'm going to get a little bit darker and warm them up just a little bit, because the hair would be bouncing off itself and getting a little bit more reddish probably. And did I lose my selection? I did. So just hold the selection tool, bring the selection back. Then click the brush. And now I'm going to start brushing in here. And you guys should be able to see this coming in. And this layer is just in normal mode right now. There's nothing. This is just like painting on a canvas. You pick a color and that's what you're going to end up with. Now let's say down here in her hair it kind of overpainted this one little strip that's coming down there, and I want to bring a little bit of that light back. I can quickly switch to the eraser tool. Now I'm going to make sure my eraser is set to the same tool as my brush. So I'm going to check my brush is on flat marker. I'm going to hold on the eraser, and now I can erase, quote unquote, with the current brush. So it'll have the exact same texture. Do the same thing up here. I got a little crazy on her hair. And this is meant to be just sort of a rough pass. We can always tighten this up later. But let's see a little bit here. Again, back to my brush. And I really haven't even switched color yet since that original selection there. Something like that, at least to get started. So that's shadows. Let's say we want to do some highlights. And actually, let's say at this point, I decide her hair is not saturated enough. I want it to change the hair color. So I'm going to go down to my colors layer, I'm just going to hold down the selection tool to bring that selection back, and then go to hue, saturation, and brightness on my adjustments. And we can saturate that a little bit, darken that a little bit, something like that. Now let's say for the sharp, more like specular highlights and reflections in her hair, I don't want it to be soft around the edges like these shadows. I want to have a little bite to it, have it be a little crispy in there. And so this time I'm going to switch to my selection tool, go to freehand. I'm going to zoom up here a little bit. Make sure freehand, make sure that we're on add. And I'm just going to trace out a little selection here that maybe this is what the highlights do in there. Do another one here. And it's in add mode, so it's just going to keep adding. And this is the sort of thing that, it takes a little practice to get used to specular highlights, but observe, look for photos of models and look at what their hair's doing under bright lights. It's very shiny, and you'll find these little bands all over the place. Little bands of light. Anyway, so we've got a couple of sharp selections now. So I'm going to go and get a brighter color. Maybe something with some orange. I don't know. Let's see. Get a big brush and start painting some of this in, and you can see now these have a little bit of sharp edges to them, Kind of a different look. This one's a little weird over here, but hey, we're doing this on the fly. So now I can deselect from that. I can switch back to my brush if I want, and maybe we clean this up a little bit. Or add a few more. There's no rules here. If you want to mix your lasso with your brushing, or if you want to do all lasso-y type stuff, that's fine. Just get that brown underneath here and just blend all this a little bit better than it was. And, how healthy we want her hair to look today. Do we want it to be super crispy bright on the edges? So maybe we get a little bit of a real bright color. Just add a little bit of that in here, and that again is going to make her hair look even more shiny. And you could do this again, you could do this with the lasso. If you didn't want to do it this way, we could undo that. Switch back to my freehand lasso tool and sort of follow the contours of the hair a little bit. And that way we switch to our brush. Make it a little bit bigger. So it's all in like what you want it to feel like. There's lots and lots of ways to render things. You can see it's a little bit different than what I did the first time. I think I've improved a little bit since then. Maybe not.